let's talk for and about the LGBT communities around the world. I'm Michael Ross, and this is Straight Friendly. Hi everyone, so in this episode we will be talking about some country in Europe which you probably all know. We're gonna talk about Poland. Now, the Straight Friendly podcast has a kind of a secret archive where we are hiding some different stuff which we recorded and then we decide if we use it or not. Now, usually we talk about countries and the cultures there and the situation, but one of the countries, which is Poland, it's all the time in the news. And in this episode, we will be talking about news. The interview was recorded in 2020 and it's still relevant, and apparently now, a year after when we are finally uploading this podcast, it still all runs in the media and we can hear about different decisions that the European Commission are taking regarding countries which are discriminating its citizens. But before we'll get to the interview and to the problems we will have in Poland, let's first of all have a global overview of Poland related to the world. But before we'll proceed to hear about the current situation there and the news, the politics, and the very interesting interview we had about a very interesting event happened there recently, let's first talk about Poland itself. Poland, in terms of population, ranked 38 in the world, just after Canada and before Morocco. In Poland, there are more than 38 million people living there. That means that 0.5% of the population of the world lives in Poland. In fact, there are probably, roughly, around at least 2.6 million LGBT people living in Poland. Before we proceed to our guest, I would like to note that the production of this episode came to reality thanks to the support of the Friedrich Naumann Foundation in Jerusalem, and also thanks to our volunteers, Alon, Rosenblum, and Ariel, Skop. So in this episode, we will talk about this current situation in Poland, and there's a thing happening now in 2020, which I couldn't ignore. I see it all over the news. I see it in the news here in my country. I see it also in other LGBT news websites and also in the regular media, let's say in the heteronormative media. And it's very disturbing because what we can see now in Poland, and yes, I can understand that this country has some orthodox sides and some religious aspects. I'm very disturbed to see how a country in Europe, which, I traveled there. I was in Warsaw and I saw lots of modern cities and environment. But what really strikes me is this disturbing thing where different leaders in different communities, in different zones in Poland are declaring their areas and districts as districts which are LGBT free. And not in the positive way, in not any positive way. It means what they're trying to say, that there are no LGBT people in those districts, or in other way to say that they are not welcome in those districts. And this year in 2020, there were the presidential elections. There were two main nominees. One of them, which was chosen this year, is a huge opponent of the LGBT community, and he's supporting this kind of labeling, which can be very, very, very dangerous, It's the propaganda which I saw is really, really disturbing. While the other person who ran for the presidential elections, the mayor of Warsaw, is pro and supporting the LGBT community. Eventually, those results of the elections, although it was very tight, I think it is very disturbing. I think that it's raising a lot of questions for the people living there. And we saw different demonstrations happening there. I've even read somewhere where one of the journalists wrote that what is happening in 2020 in Poland, in Warsaw, is basically the Stonewall Riots in the Polish version. So I decided that we have to talk with one of the persons who participated in the protest there. And just before we will move to the interview, I would like to thank Adam Gajek for introducing us with the person which we're going to interview. And I would like to say that there are some similarities in some way in this episode and the previous episode where we've been talking about the changes in the situation happening in Turkey. Of course, there are lots of positive things happening in different areas related to the LGBT community, but I think it's a very important lesson to see how also it can go back and how we cannot take things in granted. So let's move to the interview and let's talk about the current situation in Poland, and let's also learn what happened in those demonstrations or riots. Are these Stonewall Riots of Poland in 2020? Filip, he's from Poland and he's an activist. He's dealing with theater and production and many other things. So, hi, Filip. Can you tell us a bit, where are you from in Poland? Where do you live? And how did you find yourself in the activities and the protests of the LGBT community?
All right. So I'm from Silesia region. It's really industrial region in the south of Poland. And basically all my life I have been living here and working as a film producer, working with some dance theater. And it's not really liberal place, Silesia region.
Where is it located in Poland? I traveled there a few times.
It's between
country, by the way. But let's say Warsaw is in the middle, right? Somewhere there.
Yeah, and do you know where is the Krakow?
Yes, it's down in the south of the country.
Yes.
Right?
So we have Krakow and Wrocław.
Mm-hmm.
No, so Katowice is between, just half, in the half of the way.
It's around Katowice. Katowice?
Katowice.
Okay, I see. Yes. So you're not even living in the capital. You don't live in Warsaw itself, right?
Now I'm living in Warsaw. Yes. Okay. So now I'm living in Warsaw. From a few months I'm living in Warsaw. I'm working there. So but I'm new in the Warsaw.
And how is it? And how is it the life being as an LGBT in Warsaw compared from the place where you're coming from? I also understand that now in Poland, in the last year or more, you have a thing called the LGBT Free Zones, right?
Yeah.
Did that affect the area which you are coming from?
Also, Silesia region in Warsaw, it's not LGBT Free Zone. So I'm not living in the LGBT Free Zone. Obviously, in Warsaw, you feel more comfortable. It's more liberal city. It's more European, and you have all the community, clubs, organizations, people bravely are showing their feelings and their non-heterosexuality. Here in Silesia, it's not that easy. So, I'm working in theater. It's a quite tolerant place. So all my history and all my life, I have never met with some aggression in my place of working or living, because I have really tolerant friends and family and a place of working. But comparing Warsaw and Silesia, here in Silesia, in Katowice, I would not take a walk through the streets with boy just taking a hands with him or kissing on the streets. And in Warsaw, sometimes I can do it and I feel safe. Here, not really.
So you feel like Warsaw is the only place in Poland where you can show your attraction in public?
One of the few places, because maybe a Krakow, maybe the city center of Poznań, Wrocław, or Tree City, so Gdańsk, Skop, Gdynia, you can do it. But Really, not in the old city. No, not in the
another cities.
cities in Poland.
So it's mainly in Warsaw. And from what I understand, you recently had elections in your country, and the two people who were competing for the president, right? For the president or the prime minister?
Yeah.
So which position was it?
For the president. President.
So you had two nominees. One of them was the previous president, and the other one, he's the one who is the mayor of Warsaw. And from what I understand, they have two different perspectives, right?
Totally different perspectives to the future of Poland and to the human rights and to the,
What is the main difference in terms of the LGBT community?
The main what?
Difference between their opinions. Because I understand that the elections now were between two of them, right? And they have two different opinions about the community.
Opinions, and it's really, I need to say that question that you asked was one of the main questions during all the elections, because that was one of the most important topics during all the president elections, because the Polish television create LGBT community as a public enemy. And so, yes, our current and former president, Andrzej Duda, is not thinking of LGBT people as a community, but as a really evil ideology from the Europe that is trying to destroy Polish families, destroy Polish culture, and also that's really sad that we are hearing that we are all the pedophiles, and we want to have adopt children to rape them. So yeah, that's the point of view of our government and our president. And to the opposite, we have opposition, and Rafał Trzaskowski, the mayor of the Warsaw city. He's trying to do it better. So obviously he supports the LGBT community. He signed the LGBT card in the Warsaw, and that LGBT card is trying to, start some sexual education in Warsaw, so it's more liberal. But yes, he lost. So we have still our homophobic president on the president seat. Yeah.
And basically, after and first of all, I have to say I'm really sorry to hear about that, because while in so many countries around the world we see finally some progress, it seems like something quite scary is happening in your country, in Poland. And I have a few questions about the protest you had lately, and from what I heard, you were arrested in one of those protests. But before that, I want to ask you something. The result of the elections now, and the fact that this is the kind of president that you have and the government that you have, what does it make you feel about living in Poland? Do you feel safe, and how do you see your own future, Filip? Do you see yourself staying in your country, or changing anything about your lifestyle because of that?
This is really hard question, because I'm working in culture. I'm working in the theater, and I really believe that culture can make a difference in society, and I'm trying to do it best, to wake up tomorrow in the better place, less homophobic, more tolerant. And I'm with my friends, with my colleagues, co-workers. We are trying to do it from years. And in the last few years, when we have that far-right government, the every next day we are waking up in more homophobic country. And personally, I don't know if I have energy to live here. I'm a little tired of fighting for the basic rights. I don't want to feel as an enemy in that country because I'm not an enemy. I really like the culture, my language, my place. I think Poland is beautiful, and I know a lot of beautiful, great people here. But maybe half of Poland really don't want me to be here. And that's really hard thing because in last months, when that system homophobic was really stronger during the elections, I was going asleep and checking if I have my passport. In the case of I have to run away from Poland. I was checking in my mind what I would do if my boyfriend would call me, Filip, I'm arrested, or Filip, somebody attacked me, where to run, where to hide. I'm really in a tolerant place in Warsaw. I'm working with a really tolerant people. So I don't have a contact with that oppression or attacking directly for me, but I'm not feeling safe. I'm not feeling safe. I'm thinking, it's really hard to going outside of the Warsaw and thinking, oh God, maybe they could find a photo of me on some demonstration with their rainbow flag, and they could attack me in train somewhere. This is not a normal thinking, and this is not the thoughts that I want to have in the country where I'm living.
Who are the they that you say? Who?
They, another citizens of Poland. I'm living in some information bubble. It's I'm not meeting that and others them, but they are in Poland. They choose Andrzej Duda to be a president. It's more than 10 million people. That's not from nowhere. They have to be somewhere in Poland, and I'm trying to believe that that is only, political tool, that they are not so homophobic, transphobic. And if I will meet with them, we could make some, maybe not a friendship, but, that's going to be normal situation. But yeah, sorry, last month I'm more scary, and I'm not feeling safe here. That's really sad. That's really making me sad.
I'm really sorry to hear about that. And for me, as someone who's not from your own country, I've just traveled a few times. So for me, when reading the news, it felt like a political thing. But I have to say that after hearing from you, I think that I'm starting to better understand that it's not just about politics or campaigns, but it's about the feeling of the population itself, of the citizens of the country that you live in. You're saying that half of the citizens of the country where I live in, it's not only that they do not accept me, but I'm feeling threatened by them.
Totally. It's working like that. And I know that is a creation, that is a political creation, because 4 years ago, we have statistics and research that a lot of Polish people the level of tolerance was really increasing. And people, more than half of Poland, didn't have a problem with LGBT community or gay marriages or something. But from that moment when our current governments become power in parliament and have their own president, they started making from LGBT community the public enemy. And it's working because after years of telling that lies on the television, on every occasion, people are starting believing in that. That's really scary. The power of propaganda from TV. So also in Poland, government really started blocking the liberal media, independent media. Plenty of people have a contact only with information from the public TV, which is totally government TV, and it's not public. It's homophobic. It's not tolerant. It's totally making that vision of not only LGBT community, but also about Black Lives Matters, about women, about disabled people and teachers, doctors. They are making an image of us as an invasion to Poland, invasion from the Europe, from the Brussels, that I don't know why. What is the reason?
We see that in many places around the world, especially in traditional places. Also here, even in Israel itself, in the periphery, outside of Tel Aviv and the big cities, and also in other countries, in Mexico, I saw that, and in the United States as well. But what we see that in many traditional places, that people have this feeling that this LGBT culture, this LGBT thing is a trend thing, and I think that there is some kind of lack of knowledge and advocacy for people to understand that being an LGBT is a natural thing that was always there, and and the fact that if it happens all around the world in every country, it means that it's natural. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. If it happens when it's natural, it's very easy. But we see the power that the media has on shaping people's minds, especially people who are in some lack of knowledge or lack of understanding, because not all of the people maybe even met in person, a person like you, and to know that we are all, we are all the same.
Yeah,
and
that sounds so easy. Sorry.
It sounds way easier than it is, but it shows also what a huge impact the media has on shaping people, and we see it also in many other countries. Filip, I would like to ask you, please, from what I read and from what I heard, in Poland, some of the people called now the protests, we're talking now in the summer of 2020, and some of the people say that what is happening now this summer in Poland is the Polish Stonewall, that there were different protests now, and that there were dozens of LGBT activists who were arrested, including some people who tried to stop a police van containing an LGBT activist. And from what I understand, you were also arrested. Can you please tell us a bit about these protests? What are the protests happening now, and also about your arrestment? What happened? What did you do?
What happened?
What did you do?
Ask that question. The police, they know better because they stopped me and arrested me. I don't know if we are in the Polish Stonewall. Maybe it's too early to say that. I know that after elections, we thought that maybe, that making homophobic system will be reduced by the politicians. Okay, so it's after elections and that's enough. But it's not. They are trying their best to still make us the public enemy. And they decided to arrest Margot. They 2 weeks ago, they stopped Margot. She's a LGBT activist, and she was blocking the van. So yes, that was the van with some information on the speaker that every gay people is a pedophile. And that was a van with some banners around driving through Warsaw. And we think that is illegal because we are not pedophiles and nobody have a right to say that lies and, to going through the city and it's really loud. And those vans are traveling through all the Poland. So they stopped that van, called the police, and also destroy that banners and that informations on this van. And police is okay. That was the one thing, and another was in the last 2 weeks they put a rainbow flag on the monuments. The monuments
the statue of Jesus, right?
Yeah, statue of Jesus,
So,
but not only. Yeah, the symbol of the city, the few really important monuments in the Warsaw, and they were arrested because of that. And Margot was arrested, and we started protesting because we think that's maybe too much. Maybe she do some things not good, as that destroying that van. Maybe that was a little kind of vandalism, but it's not the reason to being arrested. So we met last Friday to show her our support to her when she was planning to be arrested by the police, because we know that the police will arrive for her, and we met in the place of campaign against homophobia in Warsaw in their building. And we're starting to, just have a peaceful manifestation of supporting with her. But police didn't take her, didn't arrest. We were really surprised with that. And from that place, we went to the city of Warsaw, to Krakowskie Przedmieście, near that Jesus Christ monument, and it's a really historical center of city. When uncovered police car, and policemen in the civil wearsuit arrested her just in the middle of that peaceful manifestation. So people spontaneously tried to stop that car and to block the police. So we sat around that car and starting our next manifestation, just to show our not acceptance to that way of working the police, because they are using too much power, too much. That was not normal. This was totally not normal.
What kind of power did they use? So first of all, the arrest, but what happened there in that situation?
In that situation, we were maybe 100 people around, and they use plenty of policemen, just a lot of cars. It was just a preparation for a war, really. And
how many would you say? 10,
I
15?
think about, I think about 100 totally policemen against us.
So there were more police people than protesters?
I think half by half, yes, in the one moment. So, the situation was really escalating. It was so much emotions, because people were really angry. And, after that, blocking the car police, without any noticing us that it's gonna happen. So we were sitting, just peacefully sitting, and police arrived and destroyed that line of people to free the car to go with Margot inside with that activist.
It's a police car that arrested Margot, the
Yes.
known activist from Poland, and then what happened once they arrested her and got her into the car?
So after that, we sat around to block that car. After a half hour of manifesting our support and our I don't know what, just we were sitting and and protesting against that.
How did you protest? Did you you were just saying things? Did you have any signs? Did you have any?
I was just sitting.
Tools?
And,
I know, weapons. Did you have any weapons?
Yeah, totally. No, totally not.
You didn't have. So
sitting.
What made the police to arrest you?
Because I was there. Because I was there. And
how did they arrest you? How did it happen? The arrest
after 1 hour. It was just, we were trying again to stop the car when that police car was driving through the street, but they gone and and we stayed on the Krakowskie Przedmieście street. And, it's totally chaos, totally unorganized. Police was just running through the street and arresting people, and they formed two lines on the above us and on the up and down of the street to stop the people of going out, and they started to arresting everyone inside of taking part in the reason is taking part in illegal protest with wanting an attack to the public and to the people, and terrorists or something.
For how long have you been arrested? And
it was one full day. So after 24 hours, I was next.
How the police treated you? Did they say anything?
Good.
Did they use any violence? Did the police officers tell you anything about the opinion about the community or anything like that?
Not. It was. I was treated well. Also, I'm a disabled people, so they may be a little scary of being violent to me because it's.
But for the other people, the protesters.
For the other people, they were violent. Yeah, and
how?
Especially from the transgender people. So they personally checked their genitalia, their body.
Yes.
To check.
They're very intimate.
Yeah, totally.
Parts of the body they check. How is it related to the protest? I don't understand. And how is it related to an arrestment? And I don't know. It's not that they were holding any tool, unless a vagina or a penis can be a tool. I really can understand it.
We also didn't understand why we was arrested after taking part in the peaceful manifestation. Okay, maybe blocking a car is some act of it's against the rules or something, but maybe not for arresting. It's too much, and so we don't know why, and it's really takes all night. It was really long and confusing, and they didn't allow us to call the lawyer, to call the family. So, okay, I personally didn't felt any violence from police, but I know that I have a luck and a lot of people didn't have that luck. But now we will fight in the courts, so we will see how it ends.
I see. Well, Filip, I want to thank you very much for the time you dedicated, and I'm really sorry to hear about what happened, and I really wish for a way better future for Poland and also for your story as well. And I want to thank you very, very, very much. I hope that the next time that we will talk,
about something
we will
good.
hear about a better situation. I'm really sorry to hear about that.
I
but
hope
what
so.
you're doing is extremely, extremely, extremely important, especially for the next generations. And although I'm not from your country, I want to thank you for what you're doing, because you're taking a huge risk, and you paid a price for that, and also the other protesters. So I want to thank you for that and for the time that you dedicated for us.
This was another episode of Straight Friendly Global. You can find more episodes and listen to our podcast on your favorite listening app, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Echo Podcasts, Alexa Media Player, Google Podcasts, and so on.